Let's go ahead. Let's get to your power rankings.
It's always
this
me
week.
first.
Okay, you know what?
It's fine. I
Shut
can do
up.
it. It's fine.
I'm going to go first. I'm going to go first. Let's go to my Big 12 power rankings. Your Arizona State Sundevils, for the second week in my rankings, are the number one team in the Big 12. They have been absolutely on fire as of late. I think I brought it up on the post-game show. There hasn't been an Arizona State team with a win streak this long since, I believe, 2014, and the Devils are rolling. Iowa State, number 2, this is where I had them last week. They stay put after their win over Kansas State. Obviously, 1 and 2 are going to see each other in the Big 12 title game. Colorado sits at number 3, the same spot that they are sitting in the standings, I believe, at this point. There was a 4-way tie between ASU, Iowa State, Colorado, and BYU. Colorado needed Houston to beat BYU. Couldn't get it done.
Been fun.
Overall, though, let's be real, a really, really strong season for Coach Prime and the Buffs, and that hurts me. That hurts me to say that.
Would have been nice to beat them.
I know. BYU, they are number 4. I got to say is, I'm sorry, Chase Roberts, you're not going to get that rematch. Kansas State at number 5, they drop a spot. I mean, they've just tumbled the last few weeks. It's been tough
they
to
haven't
see.
been that great this season, honestly.
No, they haven't, and realistically,
4 losses?
I don't know. I don't know off the
Houston,
top of my head.
Arizona State, Iowa State.
I don't know the other
Who else
one.
did they lose to?
But Avery
Not
Johnson,
Arizona.
Avery Johnson's still a young quarterback, probably coming back for Kansas State. TCU, they move up a spot. TCU, man, all year long they've been so hard to really predict. But I'll tell you what, TCU, as of the last month and change, you got to be impressed with what the Horned Frogs did when the expectations weren't really too high. TCU with the 2013 win over Cincinnati. Baylor, they move up to number 7. That's where they're going to finish. They absolutely just curb stomped Kansas 45-17. Baylor 8-4 on the year, in a year that Dave Aranda absolutely needed to have. Texas Tech, they're up to 8. Texas Tech, a wild season. They also finished 8-4. They won 52-15 over West Virginia. Taj Brooks, $188 on the ground and 3 trips to the end zone on the ground. Kansas, they fall 3 spots to number 9. Man, Kansas, man, they did what
we needed them to do.
What a weird year that ends in 5-7 for them. Huh?
This was okay. The 3 MVPs of Arizona State's season is Arizona State, Kansas, and TCU.
I mean, there you go.
TCU obviously securing the win, and then Kansas losing to us, beating Colorado and BYU in back-to-back weeks before sucking again.
It's just weird, man.
Thank you.
It's so weird.
Thank you.
I do have Utah up next. They move up 3 spots to number 10. They doubled up UCF 28-14. All eyes obviously go now to Kyle Whittingham and that head coaching job if he remains there or if he opts to retire. West Virginia, they fall a spot to 11. UCF, they fall a spot to number 12. Cincinnati falls a spot to 13. Houston, despite losing to BYU, I moved them up a spot. I have been impressed with how they have played some tough teams. I think Houston is going to be a much better team next season.
Yes.
But TBD on the rest of the offseason for the Cougars. Arizona, they fall a spot to 15. That's where they're going to finish in these Big 12 power rankings. Take your 11-1 expectations and shove it. Oklahoma State, dead last still in my Big 12 power rankings. Finished the year 3-9, 0-9 in Big 12 play.
It's almost impressive.
First time that Oklahoma State hasn't been bowl eligible since Mike Gundy's first season at the helm.
Wow. Sucks.
Ugly year for them.
Can't relate because we're number 1, and that's the only thing that matters for my big world. It's the only thing that matters for my Big 12 power rankings. Arizona State, Iowa State, 1 and 2. Same spots I've had them for last week. And Arizona State, I've had as the number 1 team. This is now the 3rd week in a row, by the way. I'm standing on business. 3rd week in a row, Arizona State, number 1. In your Big 12 power rankings, Colorado, I had them moving up to 3. Kansas State drops down to 4. BYU, I had them drop really far after last week. They move up to 5. Texas Tech stays the same at 6. TCU up 1 to 7. Baylor up 1 to 8. Kansas down 4. We appreciate you for your service to 9. Utah up 4 to 10. WVU drops 1 to 11. UCF to 12. Houston, I have at 13 above Cincinnati. Again, I agree with you on Houston. I actually had them dropping down so far today, though, to 13. Cincinnati drops to 14. Arizona moves up a spot You know how bad Oklahoma State has to be?
I done have been saying.
For Arizona, I mean, Arizona and Oklahoma State have been fighting for the last spot over and over again. Arizona, congrats. You end 15th, not 16th, the second worst team in the entire Big 12 conference. And then Oklahoma State, somehow even worse, just getting demolished by Colorado, ends up in last place in our final regular season Big 12 power rankings. What a time.